Hello, everybody. Welcome to the final round of the Charles Schwab Challenge here at Colonial Country Club in Fort Worth, Texas. We are starting the back nine, and as we start the back nine, Scotty Scheffler has a two-stroke lead over Andrew Novak and Tommy Fleetwood. JJ Spaun is three back, and Berger is four back. The other seven golfers that were in the top 12 have been eliminated from competition. They've fallen off the board more than they go seven strokes back or worse. And that's Mark Meisner, Rico Hoey, Will Chandler, Ricky Fowler, Lucas Glover, Jacob Bridgman, and Tom Hogue. They have fallen off the wayside. We do have the B plus and the B golfers here so that when we get to the 15th hole, we'll be looking for what they call possibly emerging contenders. We're going to roll 2d6s and see if we get an emerging contender or not. And this is where we're picking it up right here on the 11th hole. JJ Spaun and Daniel Berger are the two on the course in this threesome that are in it. Chandler is out of it. I've already rolled for Chandler since he's out of contention. So we are looking at the 11th hole, which is a par 5. So a chance for JJ Spaun possibly to make some hay here. So we'll get our dice tray going. JJ Spaun does have a blue chip, which means he could control this hole if he likes, but to control the hole, you just have to not roll a 4 or a 5. So I think he's going to keep that chip and see if he can avoid rolling a 4 or 5 on the white die and see if that's the case where he can do that. So here we go. And that is a 1 on the white die. So he does control. So JJ Spaun was smart to keep his chip. So we go to the par 5 for golfer control. And we're going to look up the other three dice and add them together, lowest to highest. We get a 2-2-3. That's what they call history maker style, I guess you call it. So it's 2-2-3. So we go to 2-2-3 and ask, is he a legend? Is he a legend? JJ Spaun is a semi-legend. So that thing clears up. I don't know why it's getting out of focus like that, but he is a semi-legend. He's got a legend with a dot there. So the dot here says he's a legend. So since he's a legend, it says he got all of that one and he gets a blue chip for Gallery Cheers. So he will get a second blue chip. And we go to Gallery Cheers. We go to this section for Gallery Cheers, the open star, which is for par 5s. And we're going to keep the green die and see what that says. It says hero or champion. He is a semi-hero. I'm sorry, he's a champion, full champion. Does not need the dot for that. So he's a full champion. So since he's a full champion, he can go for it. Possible eagle putt. So he needs these 3 shots back. So he is going to go to the go for it section, which is right here. We're going to re-roll 1d6. I'm going to re-roll that on the go for it section. And that's a 5. So let's see what he gets on the go for it section. It says trouble bailed out by third shot to green, difficult putt for birdie. So difficult putt for birdie is a 1. He could use a chip and try to make it a 1-2 for a moderate putt for birdie. Not sure he wants to do that. He's gonna keep those chips because he may need them later. So he needs a 1 to get the birdie, and he gets it. How about that? He keeps the chips and gets the birdie. So JJ Spaun, judicious with those chips and keeping them, holding on to them, gets a birdie 4. Birdie 4 for JJ Spaun. He pulls into a tie for second place. Now we move on to Daniel Berger. He has no chips to work with. We get a 1, so Berger controls as well, and it's a 455. I know it's kind of hard to see there, kind of got fell off there. 455 on a par 5. And a 455 asks, is he a legend? Berger is a legend. So since he's a legend, he gets to the Gallery Cheers and gets a blue chip. And let's see if he might be able to go for it. Green die is a 5. It asks, is he a hacker? No, he's not a hacker. So we go to strong applause. So strong applause is right here, and we're going to re-roll 1d6 for strong applause. And we get a 3. And 3 says third shot carries the fringe of green, difficult putt for birdie. It's a difficult putt for birdie. He could use the chip to make it a moderate, which would only improve it by 1 to 2. So he's going to keep the chip and try for the 1. And he doesn't get it. So it'll be a moderate putt for par, which is a 1 to 5. And he misses that. Wow, he just got a bad break there. 2 bad, rolling 6s in a row. Just a terrible break there for Berger. He will bogey a very birdieable par 5. And that's going to probably seal his fate as far as being out of contention. So now we go to the final group. Okay, we are back. I'm not sure what happened previously, but something got locked up there. So we're going to pick it back up. I'm not sure what was shown and what wasn't shown in the video before it locked up. But JJ, we only played 2 golfers. JJ Spawn birdied his 11th hole and went to 2 shots back. He also picked up an extra chip. And Daniel Berger, while picking up a chip, 3-putted and ended up bogeying. So now he's 5 shots back. So let's see if we can bring this back a little bit. Probably need to lower this just a hair. There we go. So he's 5 shots back. And now we're off to the final grouping, final threesome. That is Fleetwood, Scheffler, and Novak. And Fleetwood and Novak are 2 shots back to Scheffler. Fleetwood does have the honors, and he does have 3 blue chips, which makes it very interesting. So he's going to spend one of these chips to control the hole. So Tommy Fleetwood, although he doesn't, well, let's think about this now. This could be some strategy involved here. Let's look at the hole. The course controls on 3, 4, and 5, but Tommy Fleetwood has control. That was his perk that he got. So the 4 means Fleetwood controls. So the only way the hole controls is a 3 or a 5. So I think with that instance, Fleetwood's going to take the chance and not spend a chip right this second. And of course, you roll a 3. That's just the way it works sometimes. 4, 5, he's in the rough on the first shot. So he took a gamble, and it didn't pay off. But not the worst thing in the world. Rough on the first shot and on a par 4, and the green dies at 4. Is he a workman? No, he's not a workman. Moderate second putt for par. So that's a 1 to 5 for his par, and he gets his par. It's a par 4 for Fleetwood, and he maintains all the chips. Now we go to Scheffler, our leader, by 2. Scheffler will use a chip because he doesn't have that 4, so he's depending on controlling the hole himself. Well, that green die went on the outside, so let's re-roll that. There we go. 1-3-3 on a par 4 for Scotty Scheffler. Scotty Scheffler, a 1-3-3 on a par 4. Yeoman or puny? No, he's not yeoman or puny, that's for sure. Is he a hacker? No. So we're going to experience, and he is not a semi-icon, but the dot says he is. So we got a full icon on the experience chart. And the green die is a 3 on a par 4. Is he a prospect? No. So we've got easy putt for birdie. How about that? An easy putt for birdie for Scheffler, which is a 1 to 4. He could spend a chip and make it a gimme putt, but I think he's going to trust his putting ability. A 1 to 4, he gets a birdie. And he does. That's going to push Berger 6 shots back, and it's going to push his competition 3 shots back. So birdie 3 for Scotty Scheffler. And he just continues to put the pressure on. Now here's Novak. He has no chips. No chips for Novak. Do it this way. Maybe that will look better. We get a 5, so the course will control this. And it is a 12, rather, 1-2. And that means we're in the sand on the second shot. So we go to sandy, second shot for Novak. And Novak is semi-sandy. The dot says he is. So if he needs a sandy result, he'll be in good shape, if that's what it calls for. Bunker par 4, second shot. And the green die is a 5. Is he sandy? Yes, he is. He's semi-sandy. The dot says he is. So since he's sandy, it says swoosh right on the money, rolls to the heart of the green, easy putt for par. All right, well, it's going to get him a par, but he's still going to be 3 shots back. So he gets his par, and we finish with the 10th hole. And we move on to hole number 14 for the first grouping. And the way this worked out, the first 2 threesomes, Hoey, Bridgman, Hogue, Meisner, Glover, Fowler, are all out of contention. So we will be using the out of contending golfers, chart. So we'll put that, let's see where we put that. Let's move this out of the way. I'm going to put that right there. And it's determined by the hole. The hole is neutral. So we're going to go to normal. And we're going to roll, first of all, for Hoey. So this roll is for Hoey. He gets a 2, which is a par. So he gets his par 4. We go to Bridgman. He gets a 4. That's a par 4. We go to Hogue. Also a par 4. Now we go to the 13th hole for the second threesome, and they're all out of contention as well. It's also a neutral hole. Meisner with a 4. That's a par. Glover. That's a par. And Fowler. And Fowler gets a par also. So they all get par 3s. And now we move on to the 12th hole. Back for our people that are actually in contention. And on the 12th hole, we start with Mr. J.J. Spahn, who birdied his last hole. So J.J. has 2 chips. So he will control the hole. He'll spend 1 chip to control the hole, because the hole will control on 2 through 5. Now he can control on everything. And we get a 366 on a par 4. 366 on a par 4 for Mr. JJ. 366. Is he a shaper? JJ Spahn is not a shaper. So he's got short game. We got the short game flag. So we're going to the short game flag, and the green die is a 6. It's asking, is he stoned? No, he's not stoned. So it won't be a double difficult putt for par. It'll be a difficult putt for par. Difficult putt for par is a 1 to 3. He can spend another chip to make it 1 to 5 and make it a moderate putt. But man, spending 2 chips and coming away with a par is pretty sad. But you know what's worse? Spending 1 chip and coming away with a bogey. So he's going to spend the chip. And as long as he doesn't roll a 6, he'll be all right. And it's a good thing we spent the chip, because a 1 to 4 would have been a bogey without it. So it cost him 2 chips, but at least he didn't lose any ground. And now Chandler, who's out of contention, will roll for him. Normal again. And normal and a 2 is going to be a par 4 for Chandler. Now we go to Berger, and he's actually off camera here. So he's 6 shots back. We'll bring him out so you can see him, but he's 6 shots back. And he will spend a chip to control the hole. And he is a 3-4-5 on a par 4. So 3-4-5 for Berger. 3-4-5. And that's going to be gallery groans. He push shot drifts towards rough, gallery groans, but he can't get the red chip because he spent the blue chip. So we will just go to gallery groans and play it from there. Green die is a 5. And it says, ask if he's a workman? He says, no, he's not a workman. So it's difficult putt for par. So it's a 1 to 3 for par. If he misses this, he will fall out of contention. So 1 to 3, he's still in it. 4, 5, or 6, he falls off the board. And he will fall off the board. So Berger is eliminated. He gets his bogey. Bogey 5 for Berger. He is off the board. So yet another one out of contention. So now there are 8 golfers out of contention, 4 golfers still on the board. And we will head to the final threesome at hole number, let's see here. Hole number, where'd it go? That was 12, so this is hole number 11. What happened to my 12? Oh, 12's right here. I was looking right at it. Forgot I had moved it. Okay, so we go to hole number 11. I'll put it here since there's no golfers here. It'd be easier to see probably. So we go to the par 5 11th, and of course Scheffler has the honors from birdieing the last hole. He could spend a chip to control the hole here if he would like. But I think he's going to go ahead and play it. Hole controls on a 4 or 5. Anything else Scheffler will control. And it's a 6, so he's going to take his par and get another chip. He's got a 3-shot lead. There's no need in being aggressive. Just play it and accumulate your blue chips. So now it's going to bring up Fleetwood. And Fleetwood has his 3 chips, but again, he controls on 4. So the only way the course controls this is on a 5. So there's no need for him to use his chips. That's going to be a 4-4-5 on a par 5. So let's see if Fleetwood can maybe work his way for an eagle. Get back in this thing. 4-4-5. Is he hot? Fleetwood is semi-hot because he birdied 9, par 10, and the dot says he's hot, so he is hot. So we got Gallery Cheers. He will get a 4th chip from Gallery Cheers. The open star, so that means he possibly might be able to go for it. We'll see. Green die's a 5, though. Hacker, no. Strong applause. So we're going to strong applause, and we'll re-roll and see what strong applause brings. That's a 5. Looping iron shot, bounces edge of green, double difficult putt for birdie. Well, he's going to use at least 1 chip, maybe 2. Well, he's going to use 1 chip because he doesn't want to have a difficult par putt coming back. So let's see how he wants to play this. He's going to spend 2 chips to make it a moderate. So 1 to 2, he gets the birdie, and he does. So it's nice use of the chips there by Fleetwood. Using that 2nd chip got him the birdie. So birdie 4 for Fleetwood. And he is now 2 shots back of Scotty Scheffler. And now we go to Novak. No chips for Novak. That is a 1, though, so Novak will control. And it's 1-4-6 on the par 5. Let's see what 1-4-6 brings. Ask, is he a legend or bomber? He is not. Is he a champion? No, he's actually got very few qualities at all. Not a hacker. So we're going to experience where he is neutral. So we go to the experience chart. And the green die is a 4 on a par 5. Ask if he's an icon. No, he's not an icon. So it's a double difficult putt for birdie, which means that's a 1 plus the decider die, but he could lag up and make it a moderate putt for par. I'm sorry, an easy putt for par, and that's what he's going to do. He's not even going to try the birdie thing. That would be almost a guaranteed bogey if you try for that. So he will take his par 5 and move on. That finishes the 11th hole. And now we move on to the 15th hole, and this is where we're going to be checking for contending golfers once we hit the 15. So what they call emerging golfers, I should say. So we got an emerging golfers chart, and we're going to roll 1d6. And if we roll anything with a 1 on it, then one of these categories can contend. If we don't roll anything with a 1 on it, we skip it. And that's 2-4, so there are no emerging golfers today. So we move on, and we go through the same thing we did the first time around. First 2 threesomes are all out of contention. So we're on the 15th hole, which is a neutral hole. And we're going to start rolling for Hoey. And that's a 2, which is a par 4. Bridgman, that's a 4, it's a par 4. And Hogue, that's a par as well. Then we go to the 14th hole. That's also a neutral hole. And do the same thing. Roll for Meisner. 6, that's going to be a bogey for Meisner. He will get a bogey 5. Glover, that's a birdie for Glover. He gets a birdie 3. And Fowler, he gets a par. All right, so that takes care of the out of contending golfers for that section. Now we move on to 13 for our Next to last threesome, which includes Spawn, Chandler, and Berger. Now Chandler is out of it, so we'll roll for Chandler. And Chandler gets a par 3. Now we go to JJ Spawn, who's still 3 shots back, but now is chipless. And that is 2, which means Spawn will control. And it's a 3-4-5. 3-4-5. I know that's metallic die. It's probably hard to see there, but it is a 3-4-5 on the par 3. 3-4-5 on a par 3 for JJ Spawn. Miscalculated swing sends ball past green, wedged onto green, difficult putt for par. All right, so it's a 1-3 for JJ to make his par. And he does. So JJ makes the par putt, stays 3 shots back. He's got to hope Scheffler comes back to the field, is basically what he's got to hope for. And now that brings up Berger. Oh, Berger's out of contention too. I forgot he just became out of contention. So we'll roll for him. He gets a birdie. So Berger does get a birdie too. And now we go to the 12th for the final grouping. 12th hole, and that's going to be Scotty Scheffler, of course. He has the honors. Actually, Fleetwood has the honors because he birdied the last hole. So Fleetwood technically has the honors, and he's got 2 chips. He could spend 1 to control the hole. He does control in a 4, so he would control in a 1-4-6. The course would control 2-3-5. But I don't think he can take that chance. So he's going to control the hole. And we get a, what is this right here? This is a 4. So it's a 4-4-6 on a par 4. 4-4-6, is he a legend or bomber? He is neither. All right. Is he a hacker? No, he's not. So right now means he is semi-hot, and the dot says he's hot. So we're going to the right now chart, and he is hot, thanks to the decider die. So we go to the right now, and the green die is a 6 on a par 4. Is he hot? Yes. Usually troublesome shot, gets fortunate bounce, moderate putt for birdie. All right, so a moderate putt for birdie is a 1-2, but he really needs this birdie. So he's going to spin the chip, make it a 1-4 for an easy birdie putt. And he gets it. So again, good use of the chip. And he has back-to-back birdies. He's pulled within 1 of Scotty Scheffler. Now Scheffler is up. Scheffler just saw that. Scheffler will spin the chip to control the hole. And we get a 2-5-5 on the par 4. 2-5-5. I'm thinking about switching out this metallic maybe for a red dye or something, because I know that metallic sometimes can be hard to see. I may do that in the future. All right, so 2-5-5 is the roll on a par 4 for Scheffler. 2-5-5. Is he a legend? You better believe he's a legend. So it's distance and accuracy, and it's gallery cheers. Now he can't get a chip because he spent 1, but we are going to gallery cheers. Green die is a 5. Is he a hacker? No. Otherwise, nice shot, hits green in regulation, moderate putt for birdie. So moderate putt for birdie is 1-2, but he's going to spin that chip and make it 1-4 for an easy putt for birdie to try to get some distance. And he does. So the chip use pays off, and he gets that 2-shot lead right back. And Spawn and Novak now fall 4 shots back. So now Novak's got to make something happen here in a hurry. Does Novak? That's a 5 course controls, and we got a 26, which is golf cam course. And the green die is a 1 on a par 4. Cordial hole or laser golfer. He's not a cordial hole. He's not a laser golfer. Clutch putt for par. So he can earn a chip, but it's not really going to help him any. But he's got to make the putt. He's semi-goal 1-4. And he makes the putt. He gets the par and gets the chip, but he needs birdies, not pars at this point. So we finish with the 12th hole. And we go to 16. And again, we're back to the out of contending golfers. This hole is semi-challenging, but that's still considered normal according to everything else, because it has to be either cordial or daunting to be other than normal. So we're going to go ahead and I'll just go ahead and put the chart right here where I think you can see it fairly well. We're in this normal section, so we're going to roll. And Hoey is first, and we get a 2. So that is a par 3. Bridgman gets a 1. He gets a birdie 2. And then Hogue gets a par 3. And now we move on to the 15th hole. 15. So at 15, it is again a neutral hole. So same rinse and repeat. We're in this normal. So a 1's a birdie, 6 is a bogey, anything else is a par. Basically all it needs to remember. Meisner gets some par, Glover, par, and Fowler. Par. All three of them get par 4s. That'll take us to 14. And Chandler's out of contention, so we'll roll for him again. A 6, though, is going to be a bogey for Chandler. He gets a bogey 5. And now that takes us, a Berger's also out of contention, so we'll roll for him. He gets a par 4. And now we go to JJ. And JJ is 4 shots out of the lead. He's got to make something happen in a hurry. That's a 2, so of course we'll control it. 46. He's in the rough on the first shot on a par 4, but the green die is a 1, so there's hope. Green die is a 1. He's not a workman, so we got wow. So going to the wow chart earns you a blue chip for JJ Spawn. So we re-roll on the wow chart. Get a 6, though. That's bad. Seemingly off Karam's DeFringe green. Difficult putt for birdie. Difficult putt for birdie is a 1. He's going to spin the chip and try to make it a moderate putt, 1 to 2. And he does. So good use of the chip there by Spawn. Increases odds from 1 to a 1 to 2, and it paid off. So birdie for Spawn. He's now 3 shots back. And it's one he had to have. And now we're going to 13 for the final grouping of the day. And let's move this back over here. And the final grouping, again, is going to be Fleetwood. He's the hot man. So no more chips, though, for Fleetwood or for Scheffler, unless they earn them. But Fleetwood does control. He's got the extra control quality. So 3 or 5 are the only numbers that the hole will control. And that's a 4, so that means Fleetwood controls. It's a 4, 5, 6 on a par 3. 4, 5, 6 for Fleetwood on a par 3. And we're going to golf cam green with the green die of 6. Green die of 6, friendly green or laser golfer. Neither one. So it's a clutch putt for par for Fleetwood. He's a semi-gold putter, so 1 to 4, he would get a blue chip. But he misses, so he will bogey and drop 3 shots back and get a red chip for his trouble. So Fleetwood did what he couldn't afford to do. Makes his bogey, but that was a killer right there for Fleetwood. Bogey 4. Now we go to Scheffler, who has a 3-shot lead. We get a 4. Of course, we'll control that, and it will be a 35. 3-5. He's in the water on the first shot, so maybe he can come back to the field here. 35 is in the water. First shot. Green die is a 2. Is he sunny? No, he's not sunny. Scheffler's actually stormy, so it's the exact opposite. So over here, moderate putt for bogey. So 1 to 5, and he gets a bogey, and that'll bring everybody back by a stroke. And he makes the bogey, but it's going to pull everybody back in a little bit closer as he gets the bogey 5, or bogey 4, rather. So 2 bogeys in a row, and now Novak is up. He's got a chance to really make up some ground, and he will use the chip to control the hole. And we get a 3, 4, 5 on a par 3. 3, 4, 5 on a par 3. 3, 4, 5. Miscalculated swing, sends ball past green. Difficult putt for par. So 1 to 3 for a par for Novak. But he does make the difficult putt for par and stays within shouting distance. So we finish with 13. We head to 17 for the out of contending guys. And again, it's a neutral hole. So basically, you know the deal. 1 is a birdie, 6 is a bogey. Anything else they roll is par. So we start with Hoey. And there's your par. The Bridgman. That's a bogey for Bridgman, bogey 5. And then Hogue gets a birdie, birdie 3. We go back to 16 for the same thing. Go to 16. That is a 4, so that's a par for Meisner. And Glover, that's a par. Fowler, par. So all of them get par 3s. Now we go to 15, and the one out of contending golfer is Chandler, and he gets a par as well. Par 4 for Chandler. Now we're going to JJ. Coming off that birdie, he's 2 shots back, but he's out of chips. That's a 4. The course will control this, and it's 55, so he's in the trees on the first shot. At least it's on the first shot, not the second. He's got a chance to recover after it's only in the first shot. And the green die is a 3. 3, ask if he's a workman. No. So the easy putt for par is how it's going to turn out. So he'll maintain his 2 shots back. And now that brings up Berger. He's out of contending too. Forgot about him. So he gets a bogey. So Berger bogeys. Bogey 5 for Berger. And now we go to 14 for the threesome of Novak, Scheffler, and Fleetwood. Novak has the honors. He parred. The other 2 bogeyed the hole. So Novak has the honors. Oh, that black die went on the outside. So let's redo that. There we go. 5 course controls, 26 golf cam course though, so he caught a break. But the green die is a 6, so that could be a little troublesome. Golf cam course, green die 6, daunting hole, not a daunting hole. Clutch putt for birdie, so he's got a chance. He's semi-gold. 1 to 4, he'd pull into a second place tie on a 1 to 4. And he's got it. So it's a 3-way tie for second place between Fleetwood, Spahn, and Novak, and he gets a blue chip for making the clutch putt. So clutch birdie putt for Novak gets him back into contention. Now we go to Fleetwood. He's gonna use his red chip and give up control to the hole. And we get a 3-3-3. That would have been if he controlled the hole, that would have gone to a special result. But here, 3-3 is golf cam green, a golf cam course. So green die 3. Is it a cordial hole? No. Daunting hole? No. Clutch putt for par for Fleetwood. He can get a chip right back here. If 1 to 4, he gets that clutch putt, and he does. So he makes the clutch putt for par and gets the chip. So he maintains being 2 shots back. And now we go to Scheffler, our leader. No chips though. And that's a 5. So the course will control that. And it is a 5-5. And that is in the trees on the first shot for Scheffler. On this par 4, green die is a 5. Oops. Is he a master? He is a master. So since he's a master, beautiful shot behind tree, bounds on the green, birdie putt, just short, easy putt for par. So he went from the trees to have an easy putt for par, and he makes that. So status quo there as he makes his par, and that finishes 14. And now we go to 18 for the final threesome. The final threesome, I should say, rolling off of contention. It's semi-daunting now. So that now, if you roll a 1 to get a birdie, you got to have the dot. Everything else is pretty much the same. So we start with Hoey. That's a par. We go to Bridgman. That's a par. And we go to Hogue. So they all 3 get par 4s to finish their rounds. And now we'll add up their scores. So Hoey shot a 34 on the front side, which was 1 under. It's a par 70. So 1 under there. 1 under here, so he shoots a 34. So he shoots a 68. And Hoey was a 206, so that's a 274. Winning score was 268 in real world. Now we go to Bridgman. He shot a 34 also on the front side. Here he's 1 under, 2 under, and then 1 under. So he also shoots a 34 to match that 68. And he gets a 275. And then Hogue was the 36, 1 over on the front. He goes 1 under, 2 under, so he's 33 here for a total of 69 for Hogue, which gives him a 276. So that's what the first threesome is going to have. And now we go to the 17th for the out of contending golfers. And this one's normal, so nothing's going to change. 1's a birdie, 6 is a par. Everything else is nothing else. So 1 or 6 is the only thing that matters. Meisner, that's a par. Glover, that's a bogey for Glover. And then Fowler, and he gets his par. Now we go to 16. Chandler is out of contention, so we'll roll for him. And he gets a par 3 for Chandler. Now we go to, and we got Berger, he's out of contention. He gets a par 3. And now we go to JJ Spawn, 2 shots back. A 3-way race here to the finish. JJ, a 4. Course will control. It is a 12. That is a 1-2. Yep, 12, which means he's in the rough on the first shot of a par 3. Rough on the par 3. Green dies a 5. Is he a master? He's not a master. Difficult putt for par. So 1 to 3 has no chips to improve anything. He's got to make this 1 to 3. And he does. So he maintains. He makes that difficult putt for par. It's not counted as clutch, but in a way it is. And he stays 2 shots back. He did not want to fall 3 shots back. So we go to the final grouping. And Novak. What happened to Novak? Oh, I got him covered up a bit. No, I don't have him. What happened to Novak? Did he fall out? He didn't fall out of contention, did he? Where's my Novak card? The heck happened to Novak? That's weird. For some reason I can't find Novak's card, and I don't know why. Am I covering it up with the score sheet? I certainly am. He's tied with, and he's got a chip too. So I had the score sheet on top of it. That's why I couldn't find him, because he's there. Okay, so now we're straight. So Novak on the 15th hole, he has the honors because he got a birdie last time. And he's going to spin this chip to control the hole. So Novak will control the hole. And we get a 1-4-6 on a par 4 for Novak because he's trying to make a late surge. 1-4-6. 1-4-6. Is he legend or dynamic? Novak is dynamic. I know you can't see it because it's off the thing here, but if we pull it up a little more, you can see he is dynamic. So Novak is dynamic. And the fact that he's dynamic means gallery cheers. Now, he spent the chip, so he can't earn one, but we are going to gallery cheers. Green dies 6. He's not a hacker, so it's a difficult putt for birdie, which is a 1. So he needs a 1 to get the birdie. Doesn't get it. Now it's a moderate putt for par, 1 to 5. And he makes his par. So Novak makes the par 4. Now we move on to Fleetwood. Fleetwood will spin the chip to control. Now everybody's out of chips. We get a 1-4-6 for Fleetwood on a par 4, a 1-4-6. 1-4-6 asks, is he legend or dynamic? He is neither one. Is it a firm green? No, it's not. So we go to right now, and he is semi-hot on the right now, but the dot is a blank, so he's neutral on the right now chart. Neutral right now. Green dies a 4, par 4. Is he hot? No, he's not hot. So it's a double difficult putt for birdie. So he's going to lay up and just try to secure that par. Now it's a easy putt for par, which he makes. So Fleetwood will get his par 4. And now we go to Scheffler, who has that 2-shot lead. That's a 4. Course will control, and it is a 35, 3-5. But he's found golf cam course, so he got a good break there. And sometimes you need the good breaks. Sometimes the breaks are what help you. So golf cam course, and the green die is a 6 though. So the green die being a 6 asks if it's a daunting hole. It is not. So clutch putt for birdie for Scheffler, 1 to 4 is a semi-gold. If he makes this, he'll get a 3-shot lead, and he does. So that's going to really put him in prime position to walk off with this one. He gets a clutch putt for birdie, and he gets a blue chip, but more importantly, takes a 3-shot lead with only 3 holes to go. So that really has put him in prime position, Mr. Scheffler, to get things done. So now we go to 18 for the out of contending golfers. And once again, it's a 1 for birdie, 6 for bogey. Anything else is a par. And we're looking at Meisner. And he gets a birdie. So he finishes off with a birdie 3. Glover, that's a bogey. He finishes back-to-back bogeys, does Glover. Fowler is a par. So we'll get their scores, see how they're doing, or how they finished, I should say. Meisner shot a 33, 2 under on the front. He's a 1 under, 2 under, 1 under, 2 under. So he shoots a 33 here. So he shoots a 66. That gives him a 272. Glover, 37 on the front side, which is 2 over. This is 1 under, 2 under, but then 2 over again makes it even par 35. So he shoots a 72, and Glover will have a 277 for his troubles. Fowler shot a 1 over 36. He's 1 under, even, so he shoots a 35 on the back, total of 71, and he ends up with 276. So now there's just 6 golfers on the course. Only 4 of them are in contention. So we go to the 17th hole, and the 2 out of contending golfers are Chandler and Berger. So we go to Chandler, and he gets a 3, which is a par, and we go to Berger, and he gets a 6. So Berger's going to bogey. And now we go to JJ, 3 shots back. We're running out of holes, though, with only 2 to play. Scheffler's pretty much got it locked. Whoops. So that didn't go through. So they're pretty much playing for points now, the other guys. That didn't go through either. I got to get this thing right here. See if I can get all this to fit in there. There's a lot of dice to fit in a small spot. There we go. 6. He's going to attack the hole. There's no sense accumulating chips right now because we're almost done. So he's going to attack the green. Really doesn't have much of a choice. He's got to attack the green here with that white die of 6. When you get a white die of 6, you attack the green. That's one of the choices. So I'm going to re-roll the white die, and we get a 2. So attacking the green, it says barely on green but makeable, difficult putt for birdie. So it's a 1. He needs a 1 to make a birdie. Doesn't get it, so he will make a moderate par putt, and he misses that, so he's going to bogey. So he took a chance, and that's what happens when you take a chance. And he's going to have an easy putt for bogey. So bogey for JJ. Bogey for JJ, not what he wanted for sure. Now we go to 16 for our leaders. And again, Scheffler, the only one to birdie the hole. So he's in contention there, and he will use that chip to control the hole. And we get a 5-5-6 on a par 3. 5-5-6. Is he a hacker? No, he's not a hacker. So we're going to right now. And right now, Scheffler is semi-hot. Dot says no. So he is neutral on the right now. And the green die is a 6 on the par 3. Is he hot? No, he's not hot. Difficult putt for par. So 1 to 3 for a par. And he makes it. So that was the only hope for the other golfers, is that he would bogey, but that didn't happen. Scheffler a birdie 3. So now we go on to Novak. Oh, that didn't go through. Let's redo that. Novak 1. So Novak will control 1, 2, 5. That was a 2 there. Sometimes it's hard to see that. 1, 2, 5 on a par 3. 1, 2, 5 on a par 3. But it looks like this one is Scheffler's tournament all the way. 1, 2, 5. Is he a hacker? No, he's not a hacker. It's going to be experience, and he is neutral on the experience, and the green die is a 1. We'll go to experience. Par 3, green die 1. He's not a prospect, so it's a gimme putt for birdie for Novak. So he'll pull within 2 shots with this gimme birdie putt. He's got to avoid 66, which he barely does, but he makes the putt nonetheless. So Novak actually jumps into second place all alone, and now it's Fleetwood. And that is a 4. So when he gets a 4, he has the control quality, so he controls the hole. So it's a 1, 2, 3 on the par 3. I think that's going to be golf cam green, if I'm not mistaken. I know at least on one of these, a 1, 2, 3 is a golf cam green, and that's what this is. Golf cam green. Green die is a 3 on a par 3. Is it a challenging green? It is semi-challenging. The dot says it is. So it is a challenging green. Clutch putt for par for Fleetwood. He can't earn a chip because he spent a chip, but actually, no, he didn't have a chip to spend. So he could get this. It's a clutch putt for par, 1 to 4, and he's got it and gets a chip for the final hole. But too little too late, it seems like. Only 2 holes left, and he's 3 shots behind. That's going to be pretty much impossible to overcome unless Scheffler just falls apart. Now we go to 18, and it's a semi-daunting hole. So for our outer contending golfers, we're in column 2. A 6 is still a bogey. A 1 could be a birdie or could be a par, depending on the dot. So first up is going to be Chandler. He gets a 2, which is a par, and then Berger. He gets a 2, which is his par. So they both get their par 4s, and now we're done with this out of contending thing. That's not of use anymore. Now Spawn, unfortunately for him, fell apart there at the end. But he's got 4th place locked up. That's a 1, so Spawn will control 5, 6, 6 on the par 4. A 5, 6, 6 on a par 4. 5, 6, 6. Is he a legend? He's a semi-legend. The dot says he is. So we go to Gallery Cheers. So he will earn a chip for Gallery Cheers. Might be able to use it for a putt or something. I don't know. Go to Gallery Cheers on this par 4, and the green die is a 5. He's not a hacker, so we got moderate putt for birdie. He's going to use the chip to make it an easy putt for birdie. He could tie Fleetwood with this, 1 to 4, and he does. So Fleetwood, right now, he is tied with Fleetwood for 3rd place as Spawn gets the birdie 3. And now we will look at the scores for that next to last threesome of Spawn, Chandler, and Berger. We look at Berger. He shot 33 on the front, but 1 over, 2 over, 1 over, 2 over, 3 over, 38 on the back. And that gives him a 71 for Berger to go with the 204. That's a 275. Then Chandler shot 36 on the front, then 1 over, even, 1 over for 36. So he shoots 72, which is 2 over for the round, and he shoots a 276. For Spawn, he shot a 34 on the front, 1 under, 2 under, 3 under, 2 under, 3 under. So he shot a 32 on the back for a total of 66. And Spawn's going to have a 269. He is the leader in the clubhouse, but he is still 3 shots behind our leader. So we go to 17, and we'll see the final threesome play the last 2 holes together. Novak has the honors, and he's 2 shots back. So birdie, he could still be in this thing. Or if Scheffler makes a bogey, could put him in this thing. So Novak, no chips though, but only 4 or 5 allows the course to control, but it is a 5, so course will control. 23. He's in the trees on the second shot. This might just doom him right here. To be in the trees on the second shot on a par 4 is not the place to be. Green die is a 1 though, but I'm not sure that's going to help. Second shot, trees, workman. Is he a workman? No, he's not a workman. So we're going to pin micro chart. And that chart is right here. Pin micro chart. I'm going to re-roll the white die. And he gets a 4. And that says moderate putt for par. So 1 to 5 to maintain par. And he misses it. Wow, that's just terrible. Talk about just handing the tournament to Scheffler on a silver platter. when you miss the moderate putt for par, that just gives it away right there. Back to the 3-shot lead. And Scheffler's got to be licking his chops right about now. So Scheffler is the next one up. He just has to basically not fall down. Got it pretty much locked otherwise. We get a 2, and Scheffler actually controls this. 3-4-6 on a par 4. 3-4-6 for Scheffler. 3-4-6. Is he a bomber or a dynamic? He is a semi-bomber. Dot says no. Overshoots green by too much. We go to short game. And the green die is a 3. Is he soft? He is semi-soft. We got to re-roll and see if he's soft or not, because we already used the decider. He's not soft. So it's an easy putt for par instead of the micro chart. And he gets his par putt. That's all he really needed. Par 4. Now here's Fleetwood. Fleetwood will control this hole unless he rolls a 5. So Fleetwood controls 3-4-6 on the par 4. 3-4-6. Bomber or dynamic. Fleetwood is neither one. So he's the same situation, short game. Same thing Scheffler did. And the green die is a 6 this time. Is he stoned? No, he's not stoned. So we have a difficult putt for par, 1-3. He's going to have to use the chip to make it a moderate putt, be a 1-5 to maintain the par. And he does. So now we go to 18 to finish it off. And it's going to be Scheffler. He has the honors. 6, he's just going to take his par, not worry about chip. He's going to take the par guaranteed. And Scheffler is your champion of the Charles Schwab Challenge. We'll finish out the round, Fleetwood and Novak. See if one of them can get second place alone. Here is Fleetwood. He controls on a 4, so he controls the hole on a 1-4 or a 6. And that's a 5, so of course we'll control 66. He's in the rough on the first shot. Rough first shot, par 4, but it is a 1 on the green die, which helps. So he's not a workman. So moderate putt for par if he was a workman. Otherwise, wow. So he's going to get a chip that might affect him for trying to make a putt. So the wild chart, that's a 6. And it's a difficult putt for birdie. He's going to use a chip to make it a moderate putt for birdie, 1-2. And he will get it. So Fleetwood will take second place alone unless Novak does something. Fleetwood with the birdie 3, he will get second place all to himself. Novak has a chance to tie him for second. 5, the course will control, and he's in the rough on this first shot on a par 4. Green die this time is a 5. Is he a master? He's not a master. So it's a difficult putt for par. So that means Novak is going to be at best third, but he's got to make this putt 1-3. If he misses it, then Spawn gets third alone. So he needs a 1-3, and he gets it. So he will tie for third with Spawn. So there's your tournament right there, and your winner is Scotty Scheffler. And we'll get the final scores of this final threesome. First starting with Novak, shot a 34 on the front. Then over here, 1 under, 2 under, 1 under for another 34 shoot. So he shoots a 68 to go with the 201, gives him a 269. He actually ties with Spawn, which is correct because that's where he was, 3 shots back. Now we'll go to Fleetwood. Fleetwood shot a 32 on the front. Then he goes 1 under, 2 under, 1 under, 2 under for a 33. Total of 65 for Fleetwood. So Fleetwood 65 is a 268 for Fleetwood. And then for Scheffler, shot a 31, and that's 1 under, 2 under, 1 under, 2 under, 33. He shoots a final round 64 for a 265 total. 265 total for Scheffler. And if that's right, then I'm off by 1. These guys should be 4 shots back, and he should be 3 shots back. I think I was off by 1 somehow, but unless I'm doing my math wrong. 1 under, 2 under, 1 under, 2 under, 33, 31, 64. Yeah, okay. Either way, we're going to end it up this way. Scheffler with the winner, shooting 265. He actually beat the real score of Ben Griffin. So 265, he is the winner. He gets the 100 points, and he will regain the points lead from Rory McIlroy. Second is Tommy Fleetwood. And Fleetwood checks in with a 268, 3 shots back. But he'll get 70 points for that second place finish. Tied for third at 4 shots back with a 269 is going to be Spawn and Novak. Novak and Spawn. They shoot 269s. At 270, we have nobody at 270. It goes from 269 to 272. So big gap there. 7 shots back is Meisner. He will get 5th place all alone. Let's see, anybody else? 274. We got a 274 all alone. That's Hoey. So he gets 6th place all alone at 274. 9 shots back. At 275, we have a tie, Berger and Bridgman. So Berger and Bridgman tie for 7th. Berger and Bridgman. And all these guys in the top 10 will get 30 points. So that's a 275. 10 shots back. Tells you how dominant Scheffler was. At 276, we have a tie between Fowler and Chandler. They are tied for 9th. Fowler and Chandler. They are 11 shots back at 276. Then at 277, am I missing somebody? Is there a third 276? Let's see, 1, 2. There are actually 3 276s. Chandler, Fowler, and Hogue. Forgot about Hogue. They all tie for 9th at 276. And then all alone, 12 shots back at 277 is Glover. But he gets a top 12 finish. And will get the 30 points, the same as anybody like 5th and back. They all get the same points. So there you go. Let's move these guys off the green area there. And Scotty Scheffler is your winner. As we look at our final results up close and personal, Scheffler wins it with a 265, 3-shot victory over Tommy Fleetwood, 4 shots over Andrew Novak and J.J. Spahn. So your winner with the final round of 64, final round 6 under par 64, he ends up shooting 265, which is 15 under for the tournament, and he gets the win. So Scotty Scheffler, your winner. And as we look ahead to next week's tournament, 1 week prior to the U.S. Open, we will stay in the state of Texas, and we will not go to the state. We will not stay in the state of Texas. We'll go to the state of Ohio. And Scotty Scheffler is the defending champion at the Memorial Jack Nicklaus's tournament. That's where we'll be next week in Dublin, Ohio, at the course that Jack built. And Scheffler will be trying to tune up for that U.S. Open at Oakmont in 2 weeks. So next week, we'll be at Jack Nicklaus's course in Dublin, Ohio at the Memorial, where Scotty Scheffler is the defending champion, or the real world champion, I should say, in the real season. So Scheffler going to a course he likes, obviously, and getting there on a high note. So Scheffler's the winner over Tommy Fleetwood by 3. So thank you all for spending part of your day with me to watch this final round of the Charles Schwab Challenge from Fort Worth, Texas, Colonial Country Club. And again, next week, the Memorial at Jack's Place in Ohio. And in 2 weeks, we're going to Oakmont for the U.S. Open, where J.J. Spahn won that in real world. So that's going to do it from here. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and we'll see you all down the road.